Hey all, it's Nim or Nimicry if you're feeling professional, and welcome to the YouTube video. Now today we're going to be talking about the Summoner job. Now of all the magical DPS, this one had the most changes. So if you like to play Summoner, hold on to your big, wide brim hats and ask Bahamut to go nuke your enemies because things are going to be changing. That being said, before I get started, if you like what I do, or you like what happens on this channel, feel free to hit subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with everything the channel does. In addition, you should see a list of people on screen right now. Those are patrons. Those people support a small creator like myself, and I want to thank them greatly. If you'd like to join their ranks, and I would welcome that, go to patreon.com/Nimicry. That's patreon.com/Nimicry, Nimicry. But without further ado, the Summoner. The Summoner. Shiva, Ifrit, Garuda, Titan, Leviathan, and of course, Bahamut. These are entities that are not only iconic to the Final Fantasy franchise, but absolutely essential to the Summoner. Now, Yoshida-san wasn't lying when he said that Summoner is basically going to function like an all-new job. We had a brief explanation and demonstration during the last live letter, but now we have a more detailed look at how it'll play. There's so much to unpack, let's focus on the major changes. First off, dot spells, they're gone. Removed entirely from the job, meaning no more bio, no more miasma. They're gone. Now, I am kind of sad. Bio was always a stronger poison, and I liked Bio for that. Fester is now a simple damage-dealing spell that otherwise functions the same. Tri-Disaster has been repurposed as an AoE spell that takes the place of Outburst once you reach level 74. It also serves as the AoE action that changes when Bahamut or Phoenix are summoned. At early levels, you'll use Aether Charge, level 6, to grant yourself 3 elements called Arcanum. That's Ruby for Fire, Topaz for Earth, and Emerald for Wind. Then you can call Ifrit at level 30, Titan at level 35, and Garuda at level 45, one at a time, or the corresponding carbuncles before you unlock these summons, because otherwise you just have resources that are built once and you can't spend them. Makes sense that you can do that. To execute a limited number of attacks in a 30-second window. Once you exhaust one summon, you can activate the next for another time window, and then a third. The order is up to you. Now keep in mind, there is probably going to be an optimum order for DPS, depending on the fight, and the Balanced Discord will have that theory crafted once Endwalker goes live. During these phases, Gemshine, a single target, and Precious Brilliance, AoE, will turn into your main actions that change based on the active summon. Now, Aether Charge will evolve into a new version of Dreadworm Trance, level 58, and while it's active, Ruin 3 and Outburst/Tri-Disaster will turn into Astral Impulse and Astral Flare. You will then have the powerful Death Flare available. Once Dreadworm Trance wears off, you'll have access to 3 Elemental Arcanum to cycle through your summons. So again, that'll be Ifrit, Titan, and Garuda. Once you reach level 70, Summon Bahamut takes over, and Dreadworm Trance retains all of its effects while activating Bahamut for 20 seconds, which is less than Ifrit, Titan, or Garuda, as they are 30 seconds each. Bahamut functions the same as it currently does, grants you 3 Elemental Arcanum for your other summons once it leaves the field. So, Similarly to the job in Endwalker, you unlock Summon Phoenix, which you can activate following a Summon Bahamut phase at level 80. Phoenix functions similarly to its current version, granting all the perks and abilities while under Firebird Trance. But, just like Bahamut, it gives you 3 Elemental Arcanum for your other summons once the phase is over. So here's how this is going to break down. Right? With the revamped Summoner, you're going to find yourself alternating between these different summoning phases at later levels. It goes a little like this. Start with Dreadworm Trance, and you summon Bahamut. Boom. You got the Goddess Summons, Mega Flare. Ooh, feeling good. Honestly, I would too. Then you move on to summoning Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, in whatever order. And again, that'll be parsed out. Then to Firebird Trance, you summon Phoenix. So Phoenix, caw, 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 Phoenix, and it's fire and burning, and hopefully maybe a healing element. That would be kind of cool because that would stick true to the lore of Phoenix. Phoenix does do damage, but in general, it is a benevolent entity that saves your party, as we've seen in many games. Phoenix down, after all. Then you summon Ifrit, Titan, Garuda again, and you repeat. The 3 elemental summons have their own unique attacks and attributes, which leave you room to wield them in different ways and adapt to various combat situations. They continue to evolve all the way up to level 90, so there seems to be plenty of variation and growth throughout the job. So below are the tooltips for every single action and trait for the revamped Summoner, as well as new in-game explanation for the Trance Gauge. So this is going to be very important. Let's go over that. So Summoner actions 1 to 26 are the Carbuncle Summons. So we have Ruin at, you start with level 1, deals unexpected damage with potency of 160. We have Summon Carbuncle, again at level 2, it summons a Carbuncle to your side. Radiant Aegis, orders Carbuncle to execute Radiant Aegis. Radiant Aegis' effect creates a barrier around self that absorbs damage, totaling 20% of your maximum HP, and the duration is 30 seconds, has 2 charges, and can only be executed while Carbuncle is summoned. It does not share a recast timer, so it's off GCD. We have Physic, restores the target HP, and it is cure potency of 400. You get that at level 4. Summon Ruby. You get that at level 6, and it summons Ruby Carbuncle and orders it to execute Glittering Ruby. Now, Glittering Ruby's effect rushes the target and deals fire damage with a potency of 300, grants 2 stacks of Fire Attunement, and of course, Fire Attunement's effect, Gemshine and Precious Brilliance, become Fire Aspected. The duration is 30 seconds, cannot be executed while Earth Attunement or Wind Attunement is active, can only be executed under the effect of Fire Arcanum and Carbuncle being summoned. Aether Charge, again, it got at level 6, grants Aether Charge, increasing the potency of Ruin and Ruin 2 by 50 and Outburst by 20. The duration is 15 seconds, and it grants Ruby Arcanum, Topaz Arcanum, and Emerald Arcanum. It can only be executed in combat when Carbuncle is summoned. Or, I'm sorry, while Carbuncle is summoned. You get that at level 6. Gemshine. Channel the energies of your active elemental attunement to attack your enemy. With fire, you deal fire damage to a single target. With earth, you deal earth damage to a single target. And with wind, you deal wind damage to a single target. And that's acquired at level 6 as well. We have Energy Drain. Deal unexpected damage with a potency of 200. Additional effect, Aether Flow 2. Another additional effect grants further Ruin. The duration is 60 seconds, and it shares a recast timer with Energy Siphon. Fester. It deals unexpected damage with a potency of 300, and it does actually cost 1 of your Aether Flow gauges. You get that at level 10. Resurrection. Resurrects target to weakened state. You get that at level 12. Now it's time to summon Topaz. So it summons the Topaz Carbuncle and orders it to execute Glittering Topaz. The effect is it rushes and deals earth damage with a potency of 400, grants 4 stacks of Earth Attunement, and Gemshine and Precious Brilliance become Earth Aspected. The duration is 30 seconds, and of course, same as before, you can't use that while under Fire Attunement or Wind Attunement, and it can only be used under the effect of Earth Attunement. We have Summon, and that's at level 15. We have Summon Emerald at level 22, which summons the Emerald Carbuncle and orders it to execute Glittering Emerald. Deals wind damage with a potency of 400, grants 4 stacks of Wind Attunement, Gemshine and Precious Brilliance become Wind Aspected, and the duration is 30 seconds. Again, same as you can't be executed while under Fire Attunement or Earth Attunement, and can only be executed under Wind Attunement. At level 26, we have Outburst. Deals unexpected damage with a potency of 100 to target and all enemies nearby it. And Precious Brilliance at level 26 channels the energies of your active elemental attunement to attack multiple enemies. So Fire Attunement deals fire damage to all enemies nearby. Earth deals the same, except earth damage, and wind deals the same, except wind damage. As we scroll down here, we see summoner actions from 30 to 62. This is Titan, Ifrit, and Garuda. So we have Ruin 2, which will deal unexpected damage with a potency of 270, and it's acquired at level 30. We have Summon Ifrit. Summon Ifrit and order it to execute Inferno. So the Inferno effect rushes forward and deals fire damage to all enemies in a cone before it, with a potency of 600 for the first enemy and 60% less for all remaining enemies. It grants 2 stacks of Fire Attunement, so your Gemshine, of course, becomes Fire Aspected. It also grants Ifrit's Favor. So the effect of Ifrit's Favor ends upon execution of certain summoner actions, and of course it can't be executed under Earth Attunement or Wind Attunement, and can only be executed under Fire Attunement. We then have Summon Titan, and that's gotten at level 35. You summon Titan in order to execute Earthen Fury. Earthen Fury rushes forward and deals earth damage to all nearby enemies with a potency of 600 for the first enemy and 60% less for all remaining enemies. Grants 4 stacks of Earth Attunement, so your Gemshine and Precious Brilliance become Earth Aspected, and it can only be executed while under Earth Arcanum, as opposed to Fire Attunement or Wind Attunement. We then have Pain Flare. Deals unexpected damage with a potency of 150 to target and all enemies nearby it, and it does cost 1 Aether Flow. That's got at level 40. At level 45, you unlock Summon Garuda. So you summon Garuda to execute Aerial Blast. It deals wind damage to target and all enemies nearby with a potency of 600 for the first enemy and 60% less for all remaining enemies. So Ifrit, Titan, and Garuda all have similar abilities there. The additional effect, of course, is it grants Garuda's Favor after giving you 4 stacks of Wind Attunement and attuning your Gemshine and Precious Brilliance to Wind Aspect. It follows the same restrictions as one would have, cannot be used under Fire Attunement or Earth Attunement, and can only be used while under the effect of Wind Arcanum, and Carbuncle is summoned. We have Energy Siphon next. Deals unexpected damage with potency of 100 to target and all enemies nearby it. It grants Aether Flow and grants Further Ruin. The duration is 60 seconds, and it shares a recast timer with Energy Drain. It is acquired at level 52. Now we have Ruin 3, deals unexpected damage with potency of 310, acquired at level 54. Dreadworm Trance. This is where we get to start summoning. This is where we get to start having some fun. And of course, enters Dreadworm Trance. Duration is 20 seconds. Changes Ruin 3 to Astral Impulse and Outburst to Astral Flare. Grants the Ruby Arcanum, Topaz Arcanum, and Emerald Arcanum. Can only be executed in combat while Carbuncle is summoned. Astral Impulse, of course, deals unexpected damage with a potency of 430. Can only be executed while in Dreadworm Trance. Astral Flare deals unexpected damage with a potency of 180 to target and all enemies nearby it. Crucially, does not have any fall off, but can only be executed while in Dreadworm Trance. Astral Flow. Channel the energies of your active trance or elemental favor to perform one of several actions. Dreadworm Trance effect, action changes to Death Flare. Firebird Trance effect, action changes to Rekindle. Ifrit favor effect changes to Crimson Cyclone. Titan's favor effect changes to Mountain Buster. And Garuda's favor effect action changes to Slipstream, and that's gained at level 60. We then have Death Flare. Deals unexpected damage to target and all enemies nearby with a potency of 500 for the first enemy and 60% less for all remaining enemies. Can only be executed while in Dreadworm Trance, and it cannot be assigned to a hotbar. Ruin 4 deals unexpected damage to target and all enemies nearby with a potency of 430 for the first enemy and 60% less for all remaining enemies. Can only be executed while under the effect of Further Ruin. So that's combo action there. Keep that in mind. We then have Summoner Action 66 to 74 for the Bahamut phase. Searing Light orders Carbuncle to execute Searing Light. Its effect increases damage dealt by self and nearby party members by 3%. The duration is 30 seconds and can only be executed when Carbuncle is summoned. You get that at level 66. Then finally at level 7, the God of Summons, Bahamut. So you enter the Dreadworm Trance and summon Demi Bahamut to fight by your side. Demi Bahamut will execute Worm Wave automatically on the targets attacked by you after summoning. So keep that in mind. It's not going to auto-attack. You have to make it attack. Additional effect changes Ruin 3 to Astral Impulse and Tri-Disaster to Astral Flare. And it grants Ruby Arcanum, Topaz Arcanum, and Emerald Arcanum. Can only be summoned in combat while Carbuncle is summoned. We have Ankh Morn. Deals unexpected damage to target and all enemies nearby with a potency of 650 for the first enemy and 60% less for remaining enemies. Can only be executed while Demi Bahamut is summoned. Enkindle Bahamut orders Demi Bahamut to execute Ankh Morn. Ankh Morn deals unexpected damage, as we went over, and that's at level 70. Worm Wave deals unexpected damage with a potency of 150, will only execute while Demi Bahamut is summoned, and it cannot be assigned to a hotbar, so that's his automatic attack. Emerald Rite deals wind damage with potency of 230, and the wind attunement is 1. So you need 1 wind attunement to spend for that. Ruby Rite deals fire damage with potency of 430. The fire attunement cost is 1. And Topaz Rite deals earth damage with a potency of 330. The additional effect here, it grants Titan's favor. And of course, the earth attunement cost is 1. Tri-Disaster deals unexpected damage with a potency of 120 to target and all enemies nearby it. Has no damage fall off, which is very crucial for those who want to know. And of course, the summoner actions, level 80, the Phoenix phase. So at level, we have at level 80, we get the Firebird Trance, which summons Demi Phoenix to fight by your side. Demi Phoenix will execute Scarlet Flame automatically on targets attacked by you after summoning. So again, the same limitations that Bahamut has. Make sure that you are on casting, attacking, doing those things. Enkindle Phoenix orders Demi Phoenix to execute Revelation. Revelation deals fire damage to target and all enemies nearby with a potency of 650 for the first enemy and 60% less for all remaining enemies. Action replaces Enkindle Bahamut while Demi Phoenix is summoned. This action cannot be assigned to a hotbar. Of course, then Revelation, which we mentioned there. So now we have Fountain of Fire. Deals fire damage with a potency of 430. Can only be executed while under the effect of Firebird Trance. Makes sense. Brand of Purgatory. Deals fire damage of potency of 180 to target and all enemies nearby it. No fall off, but sadly can only be cast while under the effect of Firebird Trance. We have Scarlet Flame. Deals fire damage with a potency of 150 will only be executed while Demi Phoenix is summoned, and that's its auto attack because it can't be assigned to a hotbar. Rekindle restores own or target party member's HP. Your potency is 200. Grants Rekindle to target. Duration is 30 seconds. Healing over time when HP falls below 50% or upon effect of duration expiration. With cure potencies 200 and the duration is 15 seconds. Can only be executed while in Firebird Trance, so keep that in mind. They did actually stick true to somewhat of what Phoenix's flavor is that yes, while Phoenix will burn your enemies with fire, believe me, Phoenix is like, caw, caw, burn for your crimes. Phoenix will also be like, caw, heal, friends. I don't know why I suddenly became Mickey Mouse, but so we'll keep that in mind. And of course, Everlasting Flight gradually restores own HP and HP of all party members. Cure potency is 100, and the duration is 21 seconds. And it cannot be assigned to a hotbar. Now we have the summoner actions from 82 to 90. Ifrit, Titan, and Garuda evolve. So the Emerald Catastrophe, which is a fun name, deals wind damage with a potency of 100 to target and all enemies nearby it. It only costs 1 wind attunement, but cannot be assigned to a hotbar. Same thing with Ruby Catastrophe. Oh, Ruby Catastrophe deals more damage. Deals fire damage, a potency of 180 to target and all enemies nearby it. And, of course, Topaz Catastrophe deals earth damage with potency of 140 to target and all enemies nearby it. And it grants Titan's favor, so keep that in mind. Seems like the earth ones always grant the favor, which can be used to spend, if I remember correctly, there was an ability earlier, you could spend the favors and gain some things there. We have Crimson Cyclone. Rushes forward to delivers a fire attack to target and all enemies nearby it with a potency of 430 for the first enemy and 65% less for all remaining enemies. Can only be executed while under the effect of Ifrit's favor. Cannot be executed while bound. Crimson Strike deals fire damage to target and all enemies nearby it for potency of 430 for the first enemy and 65% less for all remaining enemies. And you can combo that with Crimson Cyclone. And finally, Mountain Buster. We have deals earth damage to target and all enemies nearby it with a potency of 150 for the first enemy and 70% less for all remaining enemies. Can only be executed while under the effect of Titan's favor. Luckily, Topaz tends to really grant a lot of favors. Slipstream deals wind damage to target and all enemies nearby it with a potency of 430 for the first enemy and 65% less for all remaining enemies. The additional effect creates a windstorm centered around target, dealing damage to any enemies who enter. A proximity effect. The potency is 30 and the duration is 12 seconds. Can only be executed while under the effect of Garuda's favor. Summon Garuda 2. Summons the Emerald Garuda and orders it to execute Aerial Blast. Aerial Blast effects deals wind damage to target and all enemies nearby with a potency of 700 for the first enemy and 60% less for all remaining enemies. It grants 4 stacks of wind attunement. The duration is 30 seconds, just like regular Garuda. And of course, Gem Shine and Precious Brilliance become wind aspected. It grants Garuda's favor, and the same limitations apply. You can't use it under Fire Attunement or Earth Attunement, and can only be executed under Wind Arcanum. So we have Summon Ifrit, summons Ruby Ifrit, and orders it to execute Inferno. Inferno deals fire damage to target and all enemies nearby with a potency of 700 for the first enemy, and 60% less for all remaining enemies. It grants 2 stacks of Fire Attunement, which is interesting because Garuda granted 4. The Fire Attunement, of course, Gem Shine and Precious Brilliance become fire aspected. It grants Ifrit's favor, and the same limitations apply for Ifrit's favor. Summon Titan 2. Summons Topaz Titan and orders it to execute Earthen Fury. Earthen Fury deals earth damage to target and all enemies nearby it with a potency of 700 for the first enemy and 60% less for all remaining enemies. Grants 4 stacks of Earth Attunement. The duration is 30 seconds. Gem Shine and Precious Brilliance become Earth aspected, and of course the same limitations apply. You can't execute under Fire Attunement or Wind Attunement when they're active, and it can only be activated under the effect of Earth Arcanum. And now we have all the summoner traits. So we have Enhanced Aether Charge, grants Ruby Arcanum and Topaz Arcanum upon executing Aether Charge. Maim and Mend increases base action damage and HP restoration by 10%. Also increases base damage and HP restoration of Pet by 10%. Enhanced Aether Charge 2 grants Ruby Arcanum, Topaz Arcanum, and Emerald Arcanum upon executing Aether Charge. Ruin Mastery upgrades Ruin to Ruin 2. Ruby Summoning Mastery upgrades Summon Ruby to Summon Ifrit. Topaz Summoning Mastery upgrades Summon Topaz to Summon Titan. Maim and Mend 2 increases base damage, action, and HP restoration by 30%. Also increases base damage and HP restoration of your pet by 30%. The Emerald Summoning Mastery upgrades Summon Emerald to Summon Garuda. Rekindle Enhances the signature attack of summons, upgrading Ifrit, Burning Strike to Inferno, Titan's Rockbuster to Earthen Fury, and Garuda's Aerial Slash to Aerial Blast. Ruin Mastery 2 upgrades Ruin 2 to Ruin 3. Aether Charge Mastery upgrades Aether Charge to Dreadworm Trance. There we are. Enhanced Energy Siphon grants further ruin upon executing Energy Drain or Energy Siphon. Enhanced Dreadworm Trance upgrades Dreadworm Trance to Summon Bahamut. Ruin Mastery 3 enhances Gem Shine according to your current elemental attunement. So for Fire, it's Ruby Right. For Earth attunement, it's Topaz Right. And for Wind attunement, it is Emerald Right. We have Outburst Mastery. Upgrades Outburst to Tri-Disaster. Enhance Summon Bahamut. Upgrades Summon Bahamut to Summon Phoenix when Demi Bahamut returns from summoning. Outburst Mastery 2 enhances Precious Brilliance according to your current elemental attunement. And the Fire is Ruby Catastrophe. Earth is Topaz Catastrophe. And Wind is Emerald Catastrophe. We have the Ruin Mastery 4, increases the potency of Ruin 3 to 310, Ruby Right to 430, Topaz Right to 330, and Emerald Right to 230. Elemental Mastery grants Ifrit's favor upon executing summoning Ifrit, Titan's favor upon executing Topaz Right, and Garuda enhances Astral Flow according to your current elemental favor. So Ifrit's favor upgrade gives you Crimson Cyclone, Titan's favor upgrade gives you Mountain Buster, and of course Garuda's favor upgrade gives you Slipstream. We have the Enhanced Brilliant Aegis, allows the accumulation of charges for consecutive uses of Brilliant Aegis, giving you 2 charges. And Ascended Summoning upgrades Summon Ifrit to Summon Ifrit 2, Summon Titan to Summon Titan 2, and Summon Garuda to Summon Garuda 2. So those are a lot. Like, they weren't kidding when they said they did a massive rework of the Summoner. No one is doubting the Summoner. In fact, we are going to continue on here. We have one more thing to go over, the Trance Gauge. Now, as we look at the Trance Gauge, you see it's very pretty, all that jazz. Upon learning the Enhanced Summon Bahamut trait, it is possible to summon Demi Phoenix to fight at your side. Summoning Demi Phoenix also grants you Ruby Arcanum, Topaz Arcanum, and Emerald Arcanum. The Trance Gauge will indicate Demi Phoenix's time remaining on the battlefield, during which Ruin 3 will be upgraded to Fountain of Fire, Tri-Disaster to Brand of Purgatory, and Astral Flow to Rekindle. Upon each summon, when called forth, will tap into its respective arcana, granting you stacks of elemental attunement, and indicating on the Trance Gauge, these elemental attunements will augment Ruin 3 and Outburst upon learning the trait Elemental Mastery. Astral Flow will be enhanced by Elemental Attunement. So as we can see here, you see that's Bahamut, Phoenix, so 18 seconds, 19 seconds, and then we see 6 stacks of Wind attunement and 15 seconds left on Garuda. So that is the Summoner. And boy, they weren't kidding when they said, hey, we're going to go take it from the ground up. We're going to add a lot of changes. We're going to make things happen. So here's the question. If you currently play a Summoner, are you put off by the new changes? Because some of the ending stuff still seems to be about the same. They've added a few tweaks, but the earlier stuff seems to be where the real meat of the changes lie. You're leveling your 1 to 50, 50 to 60, 70 to 80, and then past 80, it's mostly flavor, a little more damage, a little more toolkit. Outside of that, though, it seems like it's a pretty decent class and that they put a lot of work into the Summoner. So, will you be playing Summoner? Let me know in the comments below. Additionally, guys, I want to say that if you like what I do, or you like me personally, go on and click subscribe and hit that notification bell as it helps out the channel immensely. If you'd like to talk on a greater basis, there's a link to my Discord down below. You can follow me on Twitter at Nimicry, that's Nimicry. And for those who are truly above and beyond the call of fandom or the call of friendship, there is the Patreon, and it's patreon.com/Nimicry. It was an honor to make this video for you guys. I hope that it helps inform you for Endwalker, and I'll see you in Charlian. May the mount that you're farming drop on the first kill.